Welcome to one of the greatest American art forms, the mixtape. Traditionally, a mixtape is a homemade compilation of media from multiple sources, recorded into a medium like a VHS, CD, or cassette tape. What I present here is one part of what I call Mixtape Therapy, a collection of authentic conversations with musicians and artists alike, compiled into a podcast of their inspirations, work, and creative process. Just as you might share a mixtape, I share this with you, hoping that they will connect us in a similar way. Now join me for a little mixtape therapy.
Is this on right now?
No. It can be.
You getting that?
Yeah.
Cool. So, yeah, this is something we like to fuck around with.
Are you recording these two? I'm just asking.
Scottie, when's the last time you played piano?
You know what's so crazy is that we have 3 pianos in our house, and I don't know how to play any of them, and I don't ever touch any of them. But the other two in the house are on them all the time, so I hear them all the time.
Hell yeah.
And she makes it sound so easy and simple.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I walk into the house, and I think that Spotify's on, like it's some classical song, and she's just playing.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's just an incredible feeling, you know what I mean? So this is kind of cool that, like, I might actually be able to make some sort of music.
I think you will
and there'll
be.
be video evidence that I can show to her.
Yes.
I'm not that not talented. What's what I'm talking about? I'm not capable of making music, I guess, you know.
I think that's the thing though is we get that a lot with people who are like, I can't play, I'm not musically inclined. I always think this is a cool thing to try to kind of, I don't know, work against some of those thoughts a lot of us have. So the name of the game here is we're gonna play in C major. So
what does that mean?
So that means all of the white keys are available to you to play. Any of the white keys you play will work with what we're doing.
Why is that? Why, when you put in C major, do they all work?
So you're familiar with like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. That's like the intervallically the major scale. You could play that anywhere and it would still be
Go along.
do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That's D major, but it's the same thing,
Right.
right? So that the way a piano is set up is that, you know, if you start from C on one of those white keys and just move your way up, right, you get the C major scale. So that all of those white keys are under the umbrella of that, those 7 notes that happen in that scale.
Question.
So
How do I know where C starts? It starts here and starts here?
yeah.
The 2 black keys together.
Joan.
Go start this one?
The 2 black keys together. There's 2 and then there's 3, right? You see those?
Yep.
So the group of 2, the white key directly to the left of that, that's C.
Well done, Joe. That's it. Those are all C.
Those are C.
That's it, dude. Now, we're not going to tell you what to do. If you really want to hit some black keys and see what happens, that's up to you. But, you're guaranteed to be in key if you play the white keys.
That sounds good.
But my encouragement to you is just let loose. Let whatever happens happen. Just have fun with it.
All right.
I have no idea what we're going to do. We're just going to see what happens here.
And you said you do this in treatment? Like,
Yeah, we'll do this in treatment center groups that we go to. And it's a really easy exercise to just practice expressing yourself, in the moment and not having to think too much about it. At least that's what I encourage people to kind of channel. Just
I would also think it would make people like believe, right? Like they go, I can't do this, and then that they do it, and then they go, oh, well, what are the other things that I think I can't do that I could do, like getting sober or whatever else?
Sure.
Or
That's
staying sober, right?
100%. That's definitely a part of it. I think it's really encouraging to people doing this and trying it for the first time, and exactly like you said, being like, oh shit, maybe I can play music, I think the difference is just like, I'm a big believer that there's music in everyone. It's there. It just maybe hasn't been explored, or there's been like self-doubt. You know, like for us, we've just been playing for a while, so it's a lot more comfortable for us. But you know, for people who've never touched an instrument, I mean, it makes sense that you'd think like, oh, maybe I can't do this. But I do think it's there. I think it's in all of us, you know? We're just exploring it.
I also think that like when you don't know how to play an instrument and you have like a poor interaction or it doesn't kind of go well, then it kind of goes, well, maybe I just can't do this.
Yep.
So to have a positive interaction with an instrument might go, oh, well, I can do something. Like, I mean, you know, maybe piano's my thing, or maybe guitar's my thing. Maybe I didn't know I had a thing.
Sure.
Yeah. All right,
Let's see what happens.
Right. Notes are hard. You just a drummer. You never know.
Yeah. So I just start. Or who's
Let's Brett, give us a little progression. Scottie, try going ham. Just go nuts. you think?
Okay, first of all, I want to get y'all's experience on y'all's end, and then I'll tell you my experience.
Okay.
Cool. Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love that shit.
Ritchie's thighs are definitely red.
I've got bruises. It's funny every time we start doing some shit like that, because I never know. We never know where it's gonna go, and I think that's part of. I don't know. Playing music with someone is, and especially at this point, because we've been playing together for like 8 years now, and there's like there's just kind of like a built-in trust at this point, and just like I know whatever he's thinking, like I just trust it. And, you know, sometimes shit starts out a little weird or whatever. You're not sure about it, but like just continuing to lean into it, like something comes up. And there was like a moment, for me at least, rhythmically while we were doing that, where I was like, oh yeah, this is fucking awesome. And it was fun. So yeah, I don't know. It's just, you're just kind of leaning into the unknown a lot of the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of went with a really simple kind of go-to acoustic-y thing. I always feel limited on acoustic versus electric, so but it also like gives different possibilities of things that I would not do on electric, but
Does it stretch you to be better on electric?
say what?
Does it stretch you to be better on electric? Meaning like what you feel like you can't accomplish on here when you accomplish something else, you're like, oh, does that make you better on electric guitar? Does that
Probably.
translate?
Yeah, like stuff that I would practice. Sometimes I do practice on acoustic just so when I get on an electric, I'm like, this is way easier.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
But yeah, it was just I don't know. I started with that kind of thing. And then yeah, there's a very like between the three of us, like I don't know, I just somehow we all get the sense that like the dynamic is coming up or something, or we should just cut it off and like do a dropout thing.
Yeah.
I went to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess sometimes too, you just get ideas randomly in the moment, and you're like, let's do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was kind of steering the ship. Ritchie's just slapping his legs, and you know, there's no bass or like actual drums, so I could get away with taking some personal chances with sort of directing where it was gonna go.
But it's cool how like each of us. I think this is another cool thing is like it could be really easy for I think any one of us to be like, I'm just gonna focus on what I'm doing, you know? And in something like this, I really enjoy the process of like it's collaborative, right? Like we're all working together, and I'm hearing what you're doing, I'm hearing what Brett's doing, and it's directly affecting what I'm doing or what I'm thinking about. And like when that shit happens, I don't know, that's just cool, you know? It's cooler than me just being off in my own world, just thinking about what I'm doing, you know?
Well, and living with a musician, right?
Hey, Scott, pull up that mic.
It's like I'm like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
So in living with a musician, like she always hears songs in layers. She's like, you hear that bass line? And I'm like, no, I don't hear that bass line. Right? And I never thought I could actually feel and hear where music is supposed to go. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And as soon as y'all started, you can tell me, I felt like I started to feel like, oh, this note should hold longer. This note, this should be quick here. He's gonna kind of like drop this down right here. So maybe I need to go lower, or maybe I just don't play it all for a moment or whatever. And I don't know where the fuck that came from. Like I don't know where that came from inside. And I can only credit to one, how talented musicians y'all are, and like made it easy for me. But just to your point, like when you get in it, you just start to feel it. Right? Like, and it's like an energy that that happens, you know what I mean? And I didn't really think, you always, when bands jam out, right? You're like, they must feel something. And I just didn't think it was capable for me to feel jam out. That was like so cool. So no wonder it's so impactful when you do it in the centers and stuff like that.
Yeah. But exactly, like this was a jam out, you know, like this is like when we're working on stuff or writing stuff, like this is essentially what it's the energy exchange that's going on, you know, and really trying to listen to one another. And it's not like overthinking, at least for me, not trying to overthink too much about what's happening, but just listening and feeling, you know. And it's very like, at least for me, it's very involuntary. Like all of a sudden I'm like, it's just kind of happening, you know.
Well, you can see it when you play. That you can see your voice, your face change.
Yeah.
It's like you get into this
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
I can take my mic. What was the first time that you felt music like that?
Damn, that's a good question. I always go back to this memory I have of going to I grew up in just outside of Toronto, Ontario, and I remember driving in a car with my cousins, and we were going up to a cottage in northern Ontario, and my cousin was playing Ace of Base, if you remember Ace of Base.
All that she
And
wants is another baby.
that's it, dude. All that she wants, the sign.
Mm.
There were other ones too, but I don't know. It's like one of my first memories of music is like hearing that shit, and I remember I was so into it. I was like, what is this? I wanna listen to this. I think I really actually it's funny. There is like a lot of this kind of shit
Oh
in
yeah.
Ace of Base,
And
like
yeah.
totally. So I think I was just very drawn to the synth work that was going on. But that made me feel something, and I remember being like, I remember that memory being like, I think I want to play music. I was probably like seven or eight.
You remember the first time you felt music?
I remember probably the era. Like I don't know. I grew up with like my first memories of music were uh driving to my grandparents' house in the morning. So when like we lived like 45 minutes away from where my grandma and grandpa lived, my dad worked in that town. And so when this was like before me and my sister were in school even, and I think like during summer break when we were like really little, he would take us to my grandma and grandpa's house when like my parents were at work. So we'd get dropped off there, you know, at like 8 in the morning or whatever, and then, you know, get picked up when they were done with work. But the car rides up there, I remember, uh, you know, like Rubber Soul by the Beatles is one record that I really remember. Tommy by the Who is another one, and Quadrophenia. Those got spun a lot in the car, and I like really, uh, I really liked that kind of music, and it like stuck with me throughout my life too. Axis Bold is Love by Jimi Hendrix was another one. That one really stuck with me. Um, Talking Heads. I don't know. That was like my first. Uh, those are my oldest memories with music, and my oldest like I guess those are like my first interactions with music. You know, not playing music, but just like
Feeling.
yeah, just hearing it and feeling it.
When did you know you wanted to play?
Probably when I was like 11. Um, I got a guitar for Christmas when I was like 6, and I just didn't care about it at all. And then when I was like 10, probably about to turn 11, I got like American Idiot by Green Day. And that album just came out, and I was like really into that. And my brother gave me like a bunch of Green Day albums. And then I started playing this guitar, actually. This was like this guitar kind of just sat at my house most of my life. My dad would play it, you know, every now and then or whatever. But
So
this
it was like the family guitar.
this was my great uncle's who died in 1974. And he got this guitar in 73. And but he was a professional musician. He played guitar for Joni Mitchell at one point and stuff like that. And he died when he was like 30 something or maybe late 20s, I don't know. But yeah, this is probably the reason I play guitar, because this was always in the house. And then, yeah, I started playing guitar at like 11, and then for Christmas, my dad bought me a Strat, like a Fender amp. And I joined a band like that summer of 6th grade, and then we played our first show like the following March. And that was when I knew that I wanted to do it. Like, I was pretty sure, but the first time we played a show, it was like a pretty big show, too. It was like a Battle of the Bands thing in Adrian, Michigan. But, like, the whole town was there, basically. Like, there was a shit ton of people there, dude. And there's footage of this online, by the way. But, yeah, that was I knew after that. I was like, I want to keep doing that. Yeah.
Man, you like named all these heavy hitter bands, and I said Ace of Base.
Ace of Base is nice. It's not what I said, but
No, I started feeling self-conscious all of a
It's better than
sudden.
my Ace of Base story, because my Ace of Base story, I was a senior in high school, and we went to a beach here in Texas. And if you've been to Texas, you know there's no beaches, and so it's just like rocks and water and mud. And Ace of Base was the hottest song at the time, and people just roll up and down the beach
dude.
playing like Ace of
I
Base.
saw the sun.
Yeah, it's a banger. There are a bunch of bangers on that record.
Yeah, the guys, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.